Jaxson Dart, the most football-y name for the All-SEC First Team 2024 passing yards leader for Ole Miss. I haven't seen you since 3 in the morning at a Dick's Sporting Goods store.
God, that was a long day, wasn't it?
It was a great day, and you were like
It was great.
awesome and professional. And I, as you know this now, like I'm not a college girly, so I was unfamiliar. And then I was like, oh, I'm with Jaxson Dart, and everybody's like, he's the best. He's gonna go in the draft, and you are. Where are you right now?
I'm in Green Bay right now.
You're in Green Bay ahead of the draft. We don't know where
Yeah.
you're going. What goes into the decision on whether or not you want to be there for draft night, all the festivities?
hmm Yeah, so we came out here just to see if I wanted to make any last minute decisions. Um, but I think, we made it up and I'm gonna do it back home in Utah.
Okay.
I just felt like I tried to negotiate a few more tickets to the draft and to the green room, but you're kind of limited. And I just felt like for me, I have a big family. I have a lot of people who have supported me along this journey. And,
Mm,
Green Bay is not the easiest place to get to. So I kind of wanted to have, all my people there, everyone that's kind of been in my corner. And I have some teammates and all my coaches growing up going to be there. So it's going to be really cool to have, that whole crowd of people together and all my loved ones.
okay. What's your superpower as a quarterback?
Mm, I would say my competitiveness, my toughness, and my leadership.
Yeah, you are tough. You're a little wild out there.
A
I
little
would
bit.
say I feel like your deep ball doesn't get enough love. Do you agree?
Oh, for sure.
It's
For sure.
beautiful. It's
Thank
absolutely
you.
beautiful. When you look at, I heard, have you ever slept in a, like in a room, like what do you call it? Like a film room? Have you ever slept in one?
Of course.
What is this? What is wrong with you? I heard like you have to have curfew put on you. You need like boundaries and guardrails and like little bumper things from the bowling lane. Like why, what is your story about like not stopping grinding tape?
I don't know. I think it's just, not only is it something that I love, like I just love everything that goes into the process of being a quarterback. And, I had Coach Judge with me this past season, Coach Joe Judge, who was,
Mm-hmm.
um, he was with the Patriots, won some
Yeah.
Super Bowls. He's the head coach for the Giants and
He's
whatnot. And
tough.
his grind is on a whole nother level. So, I felt like for me, it was almost like competitive between me and him and, who was going to leave the facility later. So, just staying up to watch tape and eventually if you're there too late, you gotta fall asleep at some point.
You brought up the Giants, not me.
Yeah.
I hear Coach Dable's a fan. Eli Manning was on my show and he said that he'd like to be involved in the quarterback search, that he'd like to pop in tape like you like to pop in tape and watch you. How do you feel about the Giants?
No, they were great. I met with them a lot, and had really in-depth conversations and meetings and workouts and all the stuff. So they were great. I feel like the people in the organization really get it and they want to win. They want to win now, and I think that that's something that was very apparent in the way that they were talking to me. And
Yeah.
um, I think that it would be a special opportunity, especially with the connections that I had with Eli, and just all the resources that I would have there. I think would be a great opportunity for sure.
Does Dable remind you, like, what's comparable or similar to him and Kiffin?
Oh, I could say like personality wise, like
Mm.
they're kind of they're their own people. They're kind of out there, and they don't care what other people have to say about them. I think that's something that you can really respect, and I think that another thing would just be the way that they make relationships with their players and everybody in the facility and that stuff. I think is really cool.
I read a lot about your relationship with your coach. I bet you're going to miss him a ton. It almost feels like you guys are friends, like a friendship, like a deep
Yeah.
friendship. What's he going to miss about you the most?
Geez. I don't know. Like you said, we just had like a special connection. Quite honestly, it didn't start out that way when I first got there. It kind of just taken time to mold and whatnot. But he actually texted me like yesterday. He was like, I miss you. I'm like, all right, bro, chill out. But
Stop. That's so cute. I love that.
but I don't know. We were just always with each other. Whether it was just hanging around the facilities or playing pickleball or just kicking it.
What
and
changed the
watching tape.
relationship? I don't know this. Like, what was the shift? Like you're saying, it didn't start like that.
Probably that I was a better player from year one to year two. I don't know. Maybe I just think, for Coach Kiff, it's really just about time. And, initially he doesn't, you've met him, like he kind of is reserved when he first meets people, and it kind of just takes
Mm.
time to mold and kind of form that connection.
I just wonder if like we can get him to the NFL. Once you
I know.
establish yourself, have your all pro season, maybe a deep playoff berth, maybe you can bring him back to the NFL, Jaxson.
I know. I've talked to him about it.
And
He loves Oxford. He
good.
loves Oxford.
I mean, it's going to miss you. You're going to miss it. All of those things. I can't decide if I want you to go to the Giants because it makes sense. And I like Malik Neighbors. It's a nice, sexy, big city. You're very marketable. You're here with P&G, one of the best brands ever. So we love that. Or do I want you to go to a team that I love in the Saints? Like, I know you model your game after Jalen.
Yeah.
Helen Moore was just with Jalen. Like I like that idea for you as well. I can't decide what I'd like. What do you like about Jalen so much?
Geez, I just like the way, I like his intangibles other than just his physical ability, like how he's able to lead the guys, and you see like the buy-in from the guys
Mm.
around him and how hard they play for him. Like you watch all the interviews, or just like the documentary on like Jason Kelsey and how he talks about his quarterback. Like I love that part of it, of being a leader and being able to have those relationships regardless of what position guys are on the team. And then at the same time, I feel like, why I like him so much is because I see a lot of similarities.
Mm.
You could compare just like the build that we have, and then the ability to run and throw the ball. I think is just super unique, and I think we're both very like scheme versatile.
Scheme versatile is great. I love, you know what I love? I love that you called this whole like Ole Miss offense narrative lazy. You go to lazy
Yeah.
narrative. I love it. Great quote. Just read it. All about how your college might not translate to the NFL. Let's be positive about that. How did that offense prepare you for the NFL?
Well, I think just to start, the coaches that I had,
Mm.
Coach Kiff has won national championships at USC. At one point, was the youngest head coach to ever be hired in the NFL. His dad's a Hall of Fame coach. And then you have Coach Weiss, who coached the NFL, coached at Alabama.
Hmm.
I was able to spend 3 years with him and go through, the quarterback school with him at Ole Miss, and then bringing on Coach Joe Judge, who, has won Super Bowls and was a head coach in the league. So I think that, when you look at, those pieces for a quarterback, it's just funny to me because you hear things in the media, and then I'm around those guys who know what it looks like and
Yeah.
kind of what it takes, right? So it's like it's contradicting what everybody says because I'm around some of the most brilliant minds on the offensive side and for quarterbacks specifically. So those guys helped develop me each and every year, and you saw the progression that I had from year one to
Hmm.
my last year there. And then I think that's been a big strength of me going into these meetings, being able to just sit and talk ball with the coaches, and quite honestly, they have no concern about that. So I think that I was in the best place that I could have been for my development.
So in all of these team visits, did that come up? You're saying no, like it didn't really come up.
It didn't come up because we just talked football,
Hmm.
and I got to see it from my lens, how I saw the game, how I was involved in every little detail of the offense, and how much was, on my shoulders of, making decisions each and
Hmm.
every play. And I think that you really saw that in my last year at Ole Miss, of them just really giving me the keys and just letting me play.
I
And
think, yeah, that's trust and that's experience too, Jackson. Like, I think one of the coolest things about you, sorry to interrupt you, but like, there's this trend in the NFL. We love more seasoned college quarterbacks, like a Bo
right.
Nix. We love that. And those quarterbacks are finding success really early in the NFL. You, my friend, have 41 starts, yet you'll also be the youngest quarterback in the NFL at just 21 right now. Like, I truly believe that's what makes you stand apart. I hope you were selling that in these meetings. Like, do you need me to get in there? Because that's amazing.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually kind of cool because I didn't know that until somebody kind of brought it to my attention. But yeah, like you said, I'm going to be the youngest quarterback in the NFL next year, which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy to think about.
It's amazing. And I love that I mean, it's a media narrative, not a football narrative, folks. So you can talk all you want on Twitter, but nobody's talking about it when it matters in these meetings. There's a lot of talk about you and Shedeur. I know you guys are friendly. What is that like, just opening your phone and seeing like him versus him? And or like, are you guys, do you guys text each other? Do you just decide we're not going to talk till this is over? What are the rules of war here?
What's funny is he called me like 2 hours ago, probably just, checking in to see, what's all going on and whatnot. But no, he was at Jackson State, so and I was right down the road in Oxford,
Yeah.
and we were competing for some of the same guys in the transfer portal, and when I'd get a guy that he really wanted, he'd reach out and tell me what he thought about it. But then we've also had like little opportunities like we both did, the road to the draft with overtime and being able to spend time like that. So obviously we're competitors and whatnot, but at the same time, kind of when you get off the field, like you can just be normal people.
What did he want to know from you 2 hours ago? Do you think it was like he wants intel? Like what is, or was it like, hey, how you doing? Love you, man. Like what was it?
I don't know. I told him I was going to call him back, but with him, like you never know, like what it's going to be about. Sometimes it just has nothing to do with football.
Jackson, do you ever text or call anybody? Like it sounds like everyone's lighting you up. Kiffin saying I miss you, you're telling him to chill out. Shadeur's incoming calling you, you're saying I'll call you back. Like what's the story there? Who's the last person you in this draft process that you had an outgoing call or text to?
Probably Dylan Gabriel. That's
I'm
my
like,
dog.
he's awesome. I feel like I love that you love Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
So you guys are all friendly.
Yeah, I mean, me and Dylan, we trained together in California. So, through this whole process, we were with each other every day, and he's hilarious. So,
He's hilarious, but he's not as young as you are. He's like 30. I'm kidding.
no, he's a vet.
I know. Yeah, he's young as well. I can't wait to see where he goes. Listen, you're exciting, you're consistent, you're off all the things, and it's important on and off the field. I know that you are partnered with Head and Shoulders. What do you have going on with them as far as consistency and getting every wash to fight dandruff?
This has been so awesome because I feel like it's been something that I've manifested since high school. Because it was when I first grew my hair out. Some of my friends would talk about it in the prime, the OG Troy Polamalu days, and we'd be
Yeah.
like, we want to have an opportunity like that. So it's definitely been such a great opportunity, and it was one that I was really thrilled about. And then, like you said, I feel like the product itself speaks, for itself, and being able to, have healthy hair and keep the flow flowing.
Love it.
There you
Jackson,
go.
you have a football. You were just like, it's all happening for you. Could not be happier. And we'll see you not in Green Bay, but we'll see you at an NFL training camp or OTA coming near you. Thanks, Jackson.
Yeah, thanks, Kay. I appreciate it.